Welcome to today's podcast episode, where we dive into the military justice system with a focus on the appeal case of United States versus Matti. This case involves Airman First Class, E3, John P. Matti, who has challenged his conviction and sentencing under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, ucmj. Let's explore the details of the case, the arguments presented, and the implications of the court's decision. Case background: Airman First Class. John P. Matti faced charges related to assault and misconduct while stationed at Luke Air Force Base, Arizona. The charges were based on allegations made by his wife. According to her testimony, the incidents occurred in mid-January 2021 and on or about May 21st, 2021. The conduct charged in Specification 3 involved Matti allegedly biting her arm, causing a bruise. The conduct charged in Specification 2 involved Matti allegedly pressing his knee into her back during an argument, causing her pain and injury. She testified that the altercation leading to the alleged biting incident started because Matti commented on the appearance of another woman on television. She claimed that the bite left a bruise that was visible for 1 or 2 weeks. She was confident about the timing of the incident because it happened just before her birthday and her sister's visit around January 17, 2021. Regarding the incident on May 21, 2021, she testified that an argument ensued when she discovered Matti had added a woman to his social media account who had posted a picture of herself in lingerie. According to she, the argument escalated into a physical altercation during which Matti pressed his knee into her back, causing her pain. Despite testimony, several witnesses, including neighbors and her sister, testified that they did not observe any bruises or injuries on her during the relevant timeframes. The defense also highlighted inconsistencies in her testimony and suggested that she had motives to fabricate the allegations, such as wanting Matti to lose his ability to become an Air Force pilot and seeking a legitimate reason for divorce based on her religious beliefs. The case was reviewed by the U.S. Air Force Court of Criminal Appeals on February 28, 2025. The military judge presiding over the initial trial was Elijah F. Brown, and the appellate judges on the panel were Johnson, Gruen, and Warren. Summary of arguments. In the appellate process, Matti's defense team challenged the legal and factual sufficiency of the conviction, citing potential grounds such as insufficient evidence, procedural errors, and legal misinterpretations. Major Herbers, representing Matti, focused on these points to argue for a review and potential reversal or modification of the sentence. Judge Gruen introduced a sole dissenting opinion. Main points of the dissenting opinion. Judge Gruen 1. Prosecutorial misconduct. Judge Gruen believes the trial counsel engaged in misconduct that amounted to plain error and resulted in prejudice to Matti. He argues that the trial counsel improperly implicated Matti's constitutional rights, and the government failed to meet their burden on appeal to show that such error was harmless beyond a reasonable doubt. As a result, Judge Gruen would have set aside the findings and sentence and authorized a rehearing. 2. Background of the alleged assaults. Specification 3. Unlawful biting of his wife. His wife testified that in mid-January 2021, Matti bit her arm, leaving a bruise. The altercation began because Matti commented on another woman's appearance on television. Several witnesses, including her neighbors and sister, testified they did not observe any bruises or bite marks on her during the relevant time frame. Specification 2. Unlawful pressing of knee into her back. She testified that on May 21, 2021, Matti pressed his knee into her back during an argument about his social media activities. Witnesses, including her coworkers and neighbors, testified they did not observe any bruises or injuries consistent with her allegations. His wife's motives. She admitted to biases that could suggest reasons for fabricating the allegations, such as wanting Matti to lose his ability to become an Air Force pilot and justifying a divorce based on her religious beliefs. 3. Forms of alleged prosecutorial misconduct. Burden shifting. Judge Gruen argues that the trial counsel improperly suggested that Matti had an obligation to produce evidence of his own innocence. This shifted the burden of proof away from the government, violating Matti's constitutional rights. Interjection of personal views. The trial counsel repeatedly interjected personal opinions into the arguments, such as vouching for his wife's credibility and characterizing the defense case as a conspiracy theory. Vouching for witnesses. The trial counsel improperly vouched for the credibility of his wife and other witnesses, using personal pronouns and assurances that were inappropriate and prejudicial. Maligning the defense case. The trial counsel made disparaging remarks about the defense, suggesting that the defense's arguments were based on lies and conspiracy theories. Use of facts, not in evidence. The trial counsel referred to facts not in evidence, such as implying that bruises observed by a witness were caused by Matti, even though the witness could not corroborate this. 4. Analysis of the impact. Judge Gruen emphasizes that the cumulative impact of these errors prejudiced Matti's right to a fair trial. He highlights that the government's case was weak and that the improper arguments likely influenced the members to convict Matti based on trial counsel's assertions rather than the evidence alone. Judge Gruen asserts that the government did not meet its burden to prove that these errors were harmless beyond a reasonable doubt. Conclusion. Given the extent of the prosecutorial misconduct and the weak evidence presented, Judge Gruen would have set aside the findings and sentence. He calls for a rehearing to ensure that Matti receives a fair trial without the influence of improper arguments and errors. Implications and analysis. The case of United States versus Matti provides insight into the military justice system's appellate process. The dissenting opinion underscores the importance of ensuring fair trials and addressing any misconduct that could undermine the integrity of the proceedings. While the majority affirm the findings and sentence, the concerns raised by Judge Gruen highlight ongoing challenges in maintaining due process and protecting the rights of service members. The appellate court's decision in this case will have implications for future cases and the standards upheld within the military justice system. Do you think Matti's case should be dismissed with prejudice? Should Mattis appeal higher to the Court of Appeals for the Armed Forces? What do you think? Thank you for joining us in exploring the case of United States versus Matti.
Like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for all updates.